So when I took this bearing out, it was like this. Instead of it being like this, it was like half of it spun around and was like that. Now, I think that's what they call spun a bearing. I'm not sure. So here's that hole on the journal you were talking about. So what happened was the bearing was like this, half of it spun around and they were both over that. So, but this here is smooth, nice and smooth, the whole crank. Now, this is the only problem I see with all these bearings. The rest of them are fairly tight. Down here, this one I checked this one, I checked this one. They're all pretty good, tight. This is the piston. The compression is very strong here on this piston still. Other than that little tail piece here on that number one piston, just like a little piece here is broken down. I think, you know, I don't see the significance of this, but I think I can probably still get away with it. You tell me, because you're the expert. But here's the culprit. I guess they call this a spun bearing, when half of it breaks apart and it spins around on the other side. So, compression is good on this engine. I don't see any water whatsoever in the oil, other than the mixture of that metal that turns some of that oil a little gray, like sludge, but no milk. Assumingly, when I bought this engine, the guy told me that it was rebuilt. It seems to be rebuilt because look how good the exhaust manifolds are, and the risers are in pretty good shape. So, and if you look at the valve cover gasket, it looks like it's pretty new. So it looks like this motor, and even this is new bolts. So, and the gasket, and the water pump. So assumingly, I think this was rebuilt, but somehow they screwed this up. So what would you suggest? Would you suggest me polishing these up and each one, and then replacing all the bearings on this? Take this pump out here and just make sure and examine it that there's no metal stuck in there. That's the only thing I can think of logically. I'll send this to you and you tell me what you think. I think we could rehab this. You tell me.